Hello. So today we are going to be revisiting a video idea that I executed a little while ago and really enjoyed doing. It is unboxing a mystery box of DVDs. Last time I did this, I got a box from eBay, had 150 DVDs in it. It was a mystery to me as to what was going to be inside, so I had a good time unboxing those here on the channel, and I did a very similar thing this time. I have a box of 100 DVDs. Again, don't know what's going to be inside, mystery to me, so we're going to unbox that together here today. This will be a longer video like my last one, so let's get right into it, shall we? Here is the box. It's a big one. Have not opened it yet. Without cutting myself, preferably. So last time I had the box sitting on my bed. This time I think I'm going to keep the box right here. It's more accessible this way, and I can just reach down, grab some out, and we'll just go through them that way. You know, we won't take too much time on each one. We'll just kind of examine it, look at it. We might look some things up on Rotten Tomatoes just to see what they are if I'm not familiar with the movie. Basically, we're just going to look at some movies and have fun. It's going to be a good time. I'm hoping that this batch of movies is cleaner / in better shape than the last batch of movies. The last batch of movies was just absolutely filthy. My fingers were like literally black by the time I got done touching all of those movies. My desk was a mess. I spent probably a good 2 hours or more after I shot that video last time, like sanitizing the DVD cases and wiping off the discs and making sure they were all good to be donated. I donated a lot, but a lot ended up being thrown away because the cases were either just smashed or the discs were just scratched beyond belief. Hopefully this batch will be in better shape. Hopefully they'll be cleaner. Hopefully the discs will be fine. Hopefully they will actually all have the discs in them. So that's something else we ran into last time, was there was a couple that were missing discs, but let's get into it. First movie is Rising Sun, starring Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes. I actually have never heard of this movie. It's rated R. Based on Michael Crichton's provocative bestseller, this smart, engrossing, and electrically charged thriller is as entertaining as it is thought-provoking. Gritty, stylistic, and so sexy. I don't know. I like a good Sean Connery. Why not? Girl Next Door, starring Emile Hirsch and Alicia Cuthbert. I've definitely heard of this one. It's the unrated version, of course, because as with any witty and wickedly sexy movie, as Access Hollywood says, you know, the unrated version is just, you got to do it. There's a picture of a girl blowing up a condom, like a balloon on the back, so that's always a good sign. Probably not my kind of movie, but you never know. We have Easy A, starring Emma Stone. I've heard of this one as well, PG-13. I do like Emma Stone. Loaded with killer laughs. In this charming, critically acclaimed tale of rumors. Ooh, it's critically acclaimed. In this charming, critically acclaimed tale of rumors and reputation, Olive, an average high school student, sees her below-the-radar existence turn around overnight once she decides to use the school's gossip grapevine to advance her social standing. Wow. Game Night with Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, and I believe it also has Jesse Plemons in it. I actually own this movie already on Blu-ray, so I probably won't be keeping that one, but case is a little bit beat up. It's actually kind of hanging on by a thread, but disc is scratched. Not really surprising, but The Bourne Identity. Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum are classics to me. I grew up watching those. Great movies. I honestly cannot remember for the life of me Jason Bourne, which I think was the last one to come out. The Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner was okay. I definitely remember that one more than just Jason Bourne, but they maybe should have just stayed with the original three. Oh my. Inside of this case is filthy. Ooh, okay. So actually, I'm glad to have this one. This is The Day After Tomorrow with Dennis Quaid, Jake Gyllenhaal. I also grew up watching this one. I remember liking it. And thinking it was a decent film. It's not like a masterpiece or anything, but hopefully the disc will clean up a little bit. It's got some scratches on it, but Amanda Bynes, Sydney White. Don't think I've ever heard of this one. Doesn't really look like my thing. It's a rom-com, I would assume. PG-13, some sexual humor, partying, and some language. How dare there be partying in a movie? That's terrible. We've got one that is familiar from last time we did a DVD haul. This is Adventureland, unrated bonus features. It is a Blockbuster case as well, so this one came from Blockbuster at a certain point. It's got Ryan Reynolds and Kristen Stewart and Bill Hader and Jesse Eisenberg. Grab another mawful here. Another blockbuster film. Are We Done Yet? Starring Ice Cube. It's only PG. Some innuendos and brief language. Only You, starring Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. A love story written in the stars. That one, though it is a love story, I might actually keep because I am curious as to Robert Downey Jr. being in this. Robin Williams RV full screen edition, so I probably won't keep it. Again, it's nothing spectacular, but I remember it being a little bit fun. Robin Williams is always a pleasure to watch. Mamma Homeboys. Ooh, Sandra Bullock, Premonition. A gripping psychological thriller that will have you guessing from start to finish. But there we go, there's Sandra Bullock. This is the widescreen edition. I'll probably end up keeping this one. I like a good psychological thriller. Disc is not in great shape. It might play. We'll try it. Why not? Pride. Terrence Howard and Bernie Mac. Inspired by true events. Looks like a sports movie, perhaps. I think I've heard of this one too. Never seen it though. American Pie. There's Something About Your First Piece. Unrated, the version you couldn't see in theaters. Widescreen collector's edition. Here's the uncensored version of America's #1 hit comedy, re-edited to include the scenes that you couldn't see in theaters. You never look at warm apple pie the same again. Comedy heaven, prime slice of raunchy fun, says Peter Travis of the Rolling Stone. Bill Murray's Stripes contains 18 extra minutes featuring 6 deleted scenes. Rated R, sexuality, nudity, language, and some drug use. Owen Wilson, Christopher Walken, Vince Vaughn, Wedding Crashers, Uncorked. All right, we'll grab another handful here. The Family Man, Nicolas Cage. Tia Leone. One of the best films of the year, says one of the critics on the back. Jack Campbell, played by Nicolas Cage, is a single wealthy Wall Street trader living the high life in New York City. All that magically changes one morning when he wakes up in a suburban New Jersey bedroom with a wife he never married and 2 kids he never had. The life he would have led if he had made different choices as a younger man. I mean, that sounds like it could be interesting, and also it's Nicolas Cage, so I'll put that into the tentative keep pile. Rudy, the special edition. I'm pretty sure I've seen Rudy. Is it sad? I feel like it's sad. I feel like I've seen Rudy and it was really sad, but I could be wrong. The Usual Suspects, special edition. Stephen Baldwin, Kevin Spacey, Benicio del Toro, Giancarlo Esposito. A stylish and intricate thriller stocked with powerhouse performers. Cusack, Hackman, Hoffman, and Weiss. Runaway Jury. PG-13, violence, language, and thematic elements. Looks like just a, drama thriller of some kind, which could be cool. Oh boy, Hayden Christensen and Bruce Willis. I've never seen anything with Hayden Christensen in it other than Star Wars. I do own a movie called Shattered Glass, is what it's called, that has Hayden Christensen as the leading role, but I haven't watched that one yet. I'm actually kind of stoked to see that he's in this one as seemingly a leading role. Hayden Christensen, Bruce Willis. I like Bruce Willis too. First Kill. Let's look this one up on Rotten Tomatoes because I doubt it's good. I've never heard of it. Let's just see. I think it'd be worth keeping it even if it's not. Oh boy, yeah. It's rated 15% on Rotten Tomatoes by critics, 26 by audience. So yeah, it's very poorly rated. But look, I mean, Hayden Christensen, Bruce Willis, I think it's worth keeping just for the novelty of that. Adam Graham of the Detroit News says First Kill's a clunker. Its first and only casualty is the audience's common sense. Ouch. So that one's going in the keep pile, even though I know it's not going to be good. Or I suspect I'm not going to like it. I should say that. Because I haven't seen it, so I might like it. You never know. But film by Tyler Perry. Medea Gets a Job. Probably not my kind of thing. Never seen any of the Medea movies. March of the Penguins, widescreen edition. I have seen this one. Not going to keep it, though. I mean, I have no interest in watching it again. Stallone's Cliffhanger, an avalanche of thrills. Collector's series? Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen, an Oliver Stone film, Wall Street. In this riveting behind-the-scenes look at big business in the 1980s, an ambitious young broker is lured into the illegal, lucrative world of corporate espionage when he is seduced by the power, status, and financial wizardry of the Wall Street legend, Gordon Gekko. But he soon discovers that the pursuit of overnight riches comes at a price that's too high to pay. Daryl Hannah and Martin Sheen co-star in Oliver Stone's gripping morality tale about the American dream gone wrong. I mean, that could be interesting. Finance movies don't sound that interesting to me, but we're grabbing another bunch here. We got August Rush. I have seen August Rush. I remember liking it okay. I mean, it's got Robin Williams in it, so that's always charming. I feel like it was a film that I maybe liked more as a child than I would now, so probably not going to keep it, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is cool. I've never seen Kill Bill. We got Kill Bill Volume 1. It's got some nice paperwork in it. Oh, is the disc okay? Actually, yes, the disc is very nice. So, yeah, Kill Bill is definitely going to be one that I keep. That way I can watch it and determine whether I want to get it in a higher format. It would be really epic if we had Kill Bill Volume 2 in here as well. Under the Tucson Sun, Diane Lane. I've heard of this one. Probably not my thing. And it's full screen, so. Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston. For some reason, I'm not a big Ben Stiller guy. American Sweethearts, Julia Roberts, Billy Crystal, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and John Cusack. I like Julia Roberts and Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I don't think this would be my kind of movie. It's a rom-com, no doubt, and rom-coms just generally aren't my thing, but I respect them. Don't worry, I respect them. Just like I respect comedies. They're just not my thing. Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, Something's Gotta Give. Jack Nicholson is good, but again, this looks like a rom-com of some type, or at least a romantic drama. 2-disc special edition of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I own the Harry Potter movies on better formats, so though I appreciate it, not going to keep that one. When a Stranger Calls, Evil Hits Home. This stars who? Camilla Bell. Okay, not familiar with her. When a Stranger Calls. Looks like a thriller horror movie of some kind, so that's intriguing. PG-13 for intense terror, violence, and some language. Intense terror. That goes in the maybe pile. I like a good thriller horror. Take Me Home Tonight. Topher Grace, Anna Faris. Again, sounds like a comedy for sure. I don't know about a rom-com, but a comedy for sure. All new tricked out edition. Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, The Fast and the Furious. Full screen. I've just never been interested in watching the Fast and the Furious movies. I'm sorry. I just really haven't. The full screen edition of Akeelah and the Bee, starring Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, and Keke Palmer. This is an early Keke Palmer performance as a child. I have seen Akeelah and the Bee. It's a decent movie, just not for me at this point in my life. And it has a sticker on the front of it that has somebody's name on it. So, used to be owned by somebody named Molly, it looks like. The best love story I've seen in Larry King Live. The Notebook. I own The Notebook in Blu-ray format already, so I won't be keeping this one, but I do appreciate The Notebook. Believe it or not, it's a romance, like about as gushy of a romance as you can get, but I like The Notebook. I may be biased toward it because that's kind of like the first like really spicy romance I saw, and so it just kind of stuck with me. Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, War Dogs, based on a true story. I've definitely heard of War Dogs. I forget what publication put it out, or what channel on YouTube put it out. It was like Wired, or maybe it was Vanity Fair, or Business Insider. I don't know. Business Insider, somebody. They did a video interviewing one of the real life guys that was involved in whatever the story's based on. It was interesting, and then it got really funny because at the end of the video, he's like, oh, and by the way, I'm going to shout out my class so I can show you how to do exactly what I did. Like, I think I get what he's saying. Basically his career, his job was in government contracting. Okay, so fulfilling contracts for the government, for the U.S. government. It was just really funny to me that after, this whole spiel of basically saying, yeah, this is what I did and this is what I did wrong, and this is how I almost got in big trouble, almost got myself killed, almost got myself thrown in prison, so don't do this. And then at the very end, he's like, oh, by the way, I have a class to show you exactly how to do what I did. And I'm like, well, I don't know if we want to know how to do what you did, but War Dogs, Jonah Hill, Miles Teller. Total Recall, Colin Farrell, Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel. Smart, sexy, and action-packed. Let's look it up on Rotten Tomatoes. Gotcha. So Total Recall, I don't know if this is a remake of the Arnold Schwarzenegger 1990 Total Recall. It probably is. Yeah, Total Recall with Colin Farrell is not rated well. Another one that is familiar from last time we did this, full screen edition of Meet the Fockers, Ben Stiller. Not my thing. Barbershop with Ice Cube, Anthony Anderson, Sean Patrick Thomas, Eve, and Cedric the Entertainer. Interestingly, the only thing I've seen Cedric the Entertainer in is a movie called First Reformed, which is very unlike that movie that I just showed you. Here we have the 2-disc collector's edition of Finding Nemo. I think this is like the best-selling DVD ever, Finding Nemo. We have Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, starring Lindsay Lohan. Somebody wrote their name on it. I'm probably not the audience who's going to be watching Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Dennis Quaid, The Rookie. I've definitely seen The Rookie as well. It's an okay movie. It's not something that I'm wild about, so I'm not going to keep it. But this one also has a name tag on it. Catherine used to own this movie. Shout out to Catherine. Get Smart's Bruce and Lloyd, Out of Control. Never heard of it. Looks like a comedy. Like an action comedy. I don't know that I'd really be into that, but now something I might be into is the Dimension Collectors series of Nicole Kidman in The Others. I like Nicole Kidman very much, and I've never seen The Others, but it's been one that I've been thinking of picking up. I wonder if this wasn't the original size case this came in, because the art doesn't seem to fit in there very well. It's got both discs in it. Are they in good shape? Kind of. Yeah, I think this is not the case this originally came in, because it's, I don't know what's going on here, to be completely honest with you. I hope they didn't, oh, it kind of seems like maybe they did. I was gonna say, I hope they didn't cut the art, which I think they may have, to make it fit. That's unfortunate. The appearance of the case and artwork and stuff is just about as important to me as anything else, because I collect movies. So Dead Rising Watchtower, based on the worldwide video game phenomenon. So this is a video game movie, not rated. I don't recognize anybody. I can't imagine that's probably very good. Probably a very campy movie. Anna Kendrick, Paul Wesley, and Tania Raymond. Elsewhere, Every Town Has Its Secrets. That looks like could be an interesting horror-ish thriller, rated R, for language, sexual content, violence, disturbing images, and some drug use and alcohol use by teens. Oh boy, okay, here we have another repeat from last time. So this is Secret Window starring Johnny Depp. I think I put this in my save pile last time, but I ended up not keeping it. That disc is pretty abysmal. We got The Stepfather, Daddy's Home, unrated director's cut. That seems like probably a pretty campy horror thriller, so not gonna be something I'm too into, I don't think. All right, so that was the first layer of DVDs in our box. We got a whole second layer to go through. I am pleased that we haven't had a ton of like repeats from last batch. Colin Hanks and Jack Black, Orange County. With Jack Black, I have to imagine it is a comedy. Almost certainly is. Ooh, boy. Antonio Banderas, from the author of Jurassic Park and the director of Die Hard. Exhilarating adventure thriller, The 13th Warrior. Now, if that case does not look like it's going to be just a banger of a film, I don't know what does. Just by the looks of it, that can't be a good movie, but let's look it up on Rotten Tomatoes just for the heck of it, shall we? 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, 1999. What is our byline here? A Muslim ambassador exiled from his homeland finds himself in the company of Vikings. While the behavior of the Norsemen initially offends him, the more cultured outsider grows to respect the tough, if uncouth warriors. During their travels together, him and the Vikings get word of an evil presence closing in, and they must fight the frightening and formidable force, which was previously thought to exist only in legend. Boy, I almost kind of want to keep it just for the camp value of it, because it sounds amazingly campy. But Men of Honor, this is another one that was in our haul last time. This is Robert De Niro, Cuba Gooding Jr. I think this was also in my keep pile last time, but it was too far gone to save. How's this one look? It's not terribly scratched. It's pretty dirty, though. Tom Hanks, Angels and Demons. What is this, like a sequel to The Da Vinci Code or something? Yeah, it is. And Ron Howard's thrilling follow-up to The Da Vinci Code. I saw The Da Vinci Code. It was okay. It wasn't anything crazy. The Nutty Professor 2. Definitely not something for me, I don't think. Just not my kind of comedy. The Perfect Score. It has Chris Evans in it. Interesting. Scarlett Johansson. That could be a throwback movie. Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans. What is this one rated? It doesn't really look like my kind of movie, but we might as well see what it's rated on Rotten Tomatoes. 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Widescreen edition, though, which is always better. Samuel L. Jackson and Julianne Moore. Freedom Land. His streets, his rules. Language and some violent content. Based on the best-selling novel by Richard Price, this explosive thriller stars Academy Award nominees Samuel L. Jackson and Julianne Moore, and Golden Globe winner Eddie Falco. When Brenda Martin claims her car was stolen with her son in the backseat, the chilling accusation sparks intense investigation led by Detective Lorenzo Council. The frenzy to find her son escalates into an explosive nightmare of suspicion and accusation, and the search for the truth leads to riveting action, disturbing revelations, and a shocking ending. I mean, it sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. We'll put it in the maybe pile. The Longest Yard, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock. Again, not my kind of thing. This has me curious, right? So I got a copy of Transformers pretty much exactly like this in my last box, and my theory was that it was a bootleg because I was like, what artwork actually looks like this? It's like very blank. It does have a spine. But maybe it's legitimate because here's another one. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Not a fan of the Transformers, though. You know what I am a fan of, though? I'm a fan of The Dark Knight with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger and Gary Oldman, but I have these on better formats, so I'm not going to be keeping that one, but I do love that movie. Ooh, here we have Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So my parents owned this movie, which, you know, in retrospect kind of surprises me because I think this is maybe a bit sexier of a movie than I would think they would own, but I might keep this one if the disc is in good shape. It's got some cool paperwork in it too. Jackass the Movie Special Collector's Edition. So, I don't know. These just, are not my kind of thing. I'll just be upfront with you. I understand the potential allure, but they're just not for me. Duplex with Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore. Again, Ben Stiller. Not the hugest fan. What do I say? Domino, Keira Knightley, Mickey Rourke, and Edgar Ramirez. 2 thumbs up. Ebert and Roper. Really? Ebert and Roper gave this 2 thumbs up. All right. Let's look this one up on Rotten Tomatoes. Ooh, boy. Okay. Domino, 2005, was given an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, what the heck does Roger Ebert give this then? It said Ebert and Roper gave it 2 thumbs up, but what about Roger Ebert's website? Ebert gives this one 3 stars, which is puzzling to me. Meg Ryan, Omar Epps, Against the Ropes. Let's look that one up, just for the heck of it. I'm just curious. 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so that's a no-go. Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I might actually just keep this one because of the memories. I went and saw this one in theaters with my cousins, and it was just a fun time. Like, it's not a good movie, really, but Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Got, obviously, Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf in this one. Pitch Perfect, one we got in the last haul, I believe. Probably not my kind of movie, but Anna Kendrick, Anna Kemp, Brittany Snow, Rebel Wilson. We've got Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe and Renee Zellweger. This is actually a really good movie, and it's the widescreen edition, so I might keep this one. I would like to get this movie on a higher format in Blu-ray, because it's a good movie, but I might keep this one. The case looks to be in relatively good shape. Yeah, the disc is pretty roughed up, so maybe we'll just save that one for higher formats. But Marley and Me, Owen Wilson, Jennifer Aniston. I've never seen Marley and Me. I hear everyone say that they just bawl at the end of the movie, so I don't know what happens at the end of the movie. But my guess is the dog dies. I don't know. Marley and Me. Not a movie that I'm particularly interested in watching. Full screen edition of 300. If this were the widescreen edition, I maybe would have considered keeping it. I've never seen 300. Heard it's good. 2 for the money. Al Pacino, Matthew McConaughey, Rene Russo. I don't know. I like Matthew McConaughey. I see football on the back. I see men in suits on the back. So I don't know exactly what this is about. When Brandon Lang, Matthew McConaughey, becomes the protege of sports gambling's power player, Walter Abrams, Pacino, he swiftly becomes the golden boy of the high-rolling world for consistently picking football winners. Okay, so that makes sense. So, yeah, suits and football is a pretty apt description of what that movie is. The Ladies' Man. He's cool, he's clean, he's a love machine. I mean, he's got a nice smile. I'll give him that. This is another movie that I have seen and enjoy. It's Hidalgo with Viggo Mortensen. He plays a cowboy who races a horse race through the Arabian desert, basically. We're getting down there, folks. We're getting down there. Probably another couple handfuls, and that'll be about it. We got Luke Perry, Stephen Baldwin, and Cynthia Geary. 8 seconds. Hang on for the ride of your life. PG-13 for language. Okay, there's something about Mary. Special edition. So I did have There's Something About Mary in my keep pile last time, but it ended up being so beat up that I wasn't able to keep it. This one's actually in almost immaculate condition. This claims it's a special edition, contains outrageous, never-before-seen footage, plus karaoke music video. I think that's probably what the other one was, too, when I kept it. The rundown. So I think I've seen this entire movie. I've for sure seen parts of it. It's the full screen edition, so I probably won't keep it, unfortunately. But my memory of this from my childhood is that a family friend of ours recommended this to us for a family movie night, and we watched it as a family. And we were pretty young, my brother and I. And I remember my mom not being too pleased with one scene in particular that involves some monkeys. Once. Who does this star? I don't know. It looks kind of like a Hallmark romance. Kind of. Full screen edition of The Matrix Reloaded. I watched The Matrix for the first time several weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. I've heard that the sequels are not quite as good. Fever Pitch. Jimmy Fallon. Drew Barrymore. What? This can't be a good movie. Jimmy Fallon's an alright host, don't get me wrong. He's a little strange sometimes for my liking, but he's charming. I'm going to prognosticate here a little bit. I'm going to guess it's 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow, I'm impressed. It's a 66%. That's crazy. Okay. When Ben Reitman, Jimmy Fallon, a young teacher, begins dating pretty businesswoman Lindsay Meeks, Drew Barrymore, the two don't seem to have a lot of the same interests, but they fall in love regardless. Their romance goes well until baseball season begins, and Lindsay soon realizes that Ben is completely obsessed with the Boston Red Sox, though she tries to understand Ben's passionate team loyalty. I got through it that time. I've said that line about 5 times now. Eventually, it threatens to end their otherwise happy relationship. Interesting. Tom Hanks and Sandra Bullock, extremely loud, incredibly close. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I know this movie. I think I saw it on Netflix. And it was the first movie that got me really, really close to crying. I don't know if it would have the same effect on me now, but I definitely, if it's in good shape, I will definitely keep that one just because of that associated memory. It's in really good shape, actually. So yeah, I'll definitely keep that one. I've had that one on my list to buy, actually, for some time. Life as We Know It, Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel. Not sure how you say that, to be completely honest with you. Looks like a romance-ish comedy kind of thing. All About the Benjamins, Ice Cube and Mike Epps. New Line Platinum Series. We got Sean Penn, Milk, an American classic. Let me look that one up. I've definitely heard of Milk, and I think it's a pretty well-regarded movie, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, it's rated 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. It also stars Emil Hirsch and Josh Brolin, which is interesting, and Diego Luna. James Franco. Wow, interesting. His life changed history. His courage changed lives. Academy Award winner Sean Penn stars in this stirring celebration of Harvey Milk, a true man of the people, based on the inspiring true story of the first openly gay man elected to major public office. This compelling film follows Milk's powerful journey to inspire hope for equal rights during one of the least tolerant times in our nation's history. With a stunning all-star cast including Josh Brolin, Emil Hirsch, Diego Luna, and James Franco, it's the emotionally charged story that was proclaimed the winner of the New York Film Critics Circle Best Picture Award. I'll keep that one. Here we got Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley. This is a heavy case. I'm not sure. It's the 2-disc collector's edition. It's got paperwork in it. It's got the 2 discs in it, which is nice. I mean, I don't own this one, and I do like, this is the first Pearl Harbor. I don't know where that came from. It's the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and it's a good movie. I do like it. I grew up watching this one too. So irreverent and wickedly funny, we have Saved. Jenna Malone and her best friend Hilary Faye, Mandy Moore, are at the top of the food chain at American Eagle Christian High School, but all of that is about to change in this subversively funny teen comedy about hype, hypocrisy, and high school. Saved is a boldly hilarious satire. That one intrigues me. 2004, it's rated a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. Dazed and Confused, the flashback edition. Obviously, I've certainly heard of Dazed and Confused. I've never seen it. Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci. Monster, based on a true story. The case intrigues me on this one. Let's see. Roger Ebert says it's one of the greatest performances in the history of cinema, so that's high praise. 2003, yeah, it's an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it sounds like it could be a pretty brutal movie, but it is a highly regarded movie. All right, we're on our last stack here. We're at the bottom of the barrel. Been a good haul, I feel like. There's been some interesting stuff in here. Got Flight of the Phoenix with Dennis Quaid, Tyrese Gibson, Miranda Otto, Hugh Laurie. It just kind of looks like a run-of-the-mill action film. Oh gosh. My stack just tipped over. Dane Cook and Jessica Alba, Good Luck Chuck. Probably not really my kind of movie, but The Birdcage, Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, Diane Weist. Dapper-looking fellow. Drumline with Nick Cannon. Does not look like the kind of movie I'd like, really, but Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey, full screen edition. I think we got this one our last haul. Team America, World Police. That sounds incredibly stupid. And it's got a lot of stickers and junk on it. Four Brothers, Tyrese Gibson, Andre Benjamin, and Garrett Hedlund. And Mark Wahlberg. Four Brothers. And what is that rated? Let us find out. 53% of Rotten Tomatoes, so not great. 80% by audience, though. Mystery Alaska, the Rocky of hockey. Full of action, suspense, and heart. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Probably not for me. Paul Blart, Mall Cop. I've seen this one. Not really for me. The Departed. Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg. I do own this one on a higher format. Tropic Thunder, oh boy. This one's interesting because obviously I've heard the conversations around this film and Robert Downey Jr. Serendipity, Destiny with a Sense of Humor. John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. I feel like John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale have had a lot of representation in this particular haul. So that was supposedly 100 DVDs. There's a stack of them that at least intrigued me. And then there's a big stack, obviously, that has since fallen over that did not intrigue me whatsoever. But again, this was fun. You know, if anything, it kind of helps me remember things from my childhood. It helps me get exposure to things that I've never heard of. It's just a fun time. I don't know. It's a mystery box. How can it not be fun? Thanks for being with me. Thanks for hanging out. That's been a haul of 100 mystery movies. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later.